Now, Chinese President Xi Jinping has met with Vietnamese Prime Minister in Da Nang, and he said the two neighbors should extend the breadth and depth of their comprehensive strategic cooperation. President Xi also expressed condolences over the heavy casualties and damage caused by Typhoon Damri in southern and central Vietnam. He said China will support Vietnam's relief efforts. And President Xi Jinping will fly Sunday to Hanoi to start his state visit.
President Xi Jinping said the world economy has gradually recovered over the past 3 years. He called on the 21 APEC members to promote innovation as a strong driver of growth, open up their economies to create more space for development, pursue inclusive development to enhance their people's sense of fulfillment, and enrich their partnerships and deliver benefits to all involved. President Xi Jinping said history has proved that closed-door development will get nowhere, and open development is the only right choice. He said China would open wider and its development would deliver greater benefits to the rest of the world. At the close of the meeting, the leaders posed for what's become known as the family photo. Vietnamese president delivered a speech and handed over the chairmanship to next year's host, Papua New Guinea. Chuck Tinte, CGTN.
Head to a mall and try out clothes or visit an online store. That's not the real question for any millennial these days, with e-commerce dominating the Chinese market in recent years. The trillion yuan question is online shopping via a mobile or PC.
I use mobile apps like Taobao for buying clothes because I can scan a QR code with the phone, but laptops can't scan.
Usually, I lie in bed for 1 or 2 hours shopping on my phone. I fill the online shopping cart on the eve of Double 11 and place an order when midnight strikes.
According to China E-commerce Research Center, the country's mobile retail volume reached 2.2 trillion yuan in the first half of 2017, accounting for over 70% of total online sales.
I just bought a new t-shirt while waiting for the elevator. And now with a cell phone, I can buy almost anything at any time. It may be good news for consumers, but it will make you spend your money faster than ever.
China now has nearly 500 million mobile shoppers, over 1/3 of its population. Experts say this fever of mobile shopping will continue.
I think 5 years ago, only 20% from mobile shopping, but currently 70%. And according to some of the estimation and the forecasting, next year, we will have maybe 80% from the mobile.
Dr. Wang also pointed out that integration between online and offline shopping will likely be a trend in the future, and it looks like the traditional retail industry will have to change their business model and provide more online-related services if it wants brick-and-mortar stores to survive. He Weiwei, CGTN.
Dexterity, precision, and concentration. Just some of the skills competitors need to become the chopsticks champion. The goal is simple: pile as many jellies into a stack as high as possible in 1 minute.
At school, I practiced a lot to develop the left and right part of my brain in a balanced way, and I think that helped me do well in the competition.
Cheongju, South Korea is home to the country's largest annual chopsticks festival. Visitors can experience everything there is to know about the utensil, from its history and cultural origins to its modern usage in daily life.
I thought it was fun to see performances from countries that use chopsticks like Korea, China and Japan. I drove all the way from Seoul early in the morning, and there is a lot to do and see.
The origin of the chopstick in East Asia dates back thousands of years. Traditionally in Korea, chopsticks are made of metal and often coupled with a matching spoon. You may see slight variations in other countries like China and Japan, but it's clear the chopstick is one trait the three countries share together. Cheongju, along with Qingdao, China, and Nagata, Japan, were designated East Asian cultural cities in 2012 as part of an agreement by the culture ministers of the three countries. The goal is to seek reconciliation through cultural exchanges.
We solemnly declare that Korea, China and Japan will jointly strive for unity in East Asia and unity around the world to create a better world to live in.
Chopsticks are a fundamental part of East Asian culture, and Chopsticks Day is a celebration of what countries have in common, one jelly at a time. Shane Hom, CGTN, Cheongju, South Korea.
Saturday's talks saw leaders of the 21 members of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation pledge to create a new dynamism and foster a shared future for the region. In a joint statement, they agreed to address unfair trade practices and called for the urgent removal of market-distorting subsidies. They also agreed on the need to improve the World Trade Organization's negotiating, monitoring and dispute settlement functions, whilst noting the importance of bilateral, regional and
There is a sea of difference between the tones and the plans given by the President of the United States and the President of China. Yes, I am talking about the two speeches, well known now that the two leaders delivered at this year's APEC meeting in Da Nang, Vietnam. For President Trump, he pledged continuity of the U.S. policy toward the Asia-Pacific region. Friends, partners, and allies, but his blueprint just doesn't add up, blaming everything and everyone and wrapping it up with the slogan, America First. His Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, though, offered a totally different set of messages, deliverables for those in other parts of the world. Support for more regional and multilateral trade mechanism, further reform, and opening up with a bigger and freer market. According to the Chinese president, there are real and important opportunities. The global economy is really coming back to life after years of downward trend. You really do not want to miss that. You do not. Well, China does not. China is also inviting you to join. China will open up for $2 trillion of inbound investment, while it is investing $2 trillion in the rest of the world in the very near future. And China will host the first ever International Import Expo in Shanghai next year. Ban, 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 one after another, real, tangible actions coming from China. For President Trump, he offers some tools too, punishing those who violate intellectual property rights as he perceives it, and asking others to mimic him, preferably by inserting their country's name followed by the word first. Before I left the convention center, the place where the heads of states addressed the business community, a long line of people, in fact, apparently from very different countries, were even lining up just a stone's throw away from President Xi Jinping's entourage when the Chinese delegation prepared to leave for the next event. With cameras in their hand, business brochures in their bags, their eyes wrinkled with the kind of excitement and determination that one could only have once hope has restored. It is likely to be a great weekend in Da Nang, I would assume. The sun finally came out after days of typhoon, and the stormy sea has become calm, even magnificent once again. I'm Tian Wei. This is Wei the World, your world.